Look, I'm gonna cut right to the chase here. The Bill of Rights and Constitution and private property and the fact that we jealously defend it and are aware of our liberties is what has allowed us to have all this wealth. You wonder why North Korea or Mexico or China or most other nations are horrible cesspits of corruption and thuggery with cops strutting around on power trips and the people incredibly poor? That's because the systems there have made a decision to make people poor. They've made a decision to use it as a weapon. Mexico has at least triple the resources of the United States, and it has fully collapsed. It is a failed state now. The State Department admits it's a failed country. There is mass death, tens of thousands killed per year on our border. The crime is pouring across, and the government just loves it. It's just legalizing it, bringing it in, loving it. And you've got this cowardly, politically correct, decadent, bloated population who our forefathers would be disgusted by, like a bunch of decadent Romans in 410, right before Rome fell, having no idea that the currency's been sucked dry, the factories are rusting, Detroit and many other cities are collapsing, more than 15 states are already totally bankrupt, thousands of counties, there's over 20,000 counties, thousands of counties totally collapsed, a debt black hole designed so you can't pay it back. And I have all the Goldman Sachs documents, all the Timberwolf documents. I've been telling you this for 10 years about the derivatives. And still, the American people are so cowardly on average. And by cowardly, they act tough. Men strut around and bug their eyes out, and they're big and bad. Unless somebody in a cop in a black ski mask comes by, they start urinating on their leg, or and they bow down to the American flag but hate everything it stands for. Look, you're going to have nothing if you don't have enough respect for yourself to get up and get angry and speak out. I don't care what religion, what color you are. If you support the Bill of Rights and Constitution and that shield, that hedge of protection, it's gone. The shields are down now, folks. They've gotten rid of everything. I've got The Economist magazine in front of me. We're in Seattle. They make you pay giant fees and fines to even have free speech in the city. Not to rally, not to march. The government is completely criminal, ladies and gentlemen. They're violating the Bill of Rights and Constitution from one end to the other. We're going to start the next hour and go to all your calls. It's just I read stories here where the feds are challenging a previous Arizona law, which they're not even enforcing, where people that hire illegals get in trouble. Meanwhile, the feds are throwing the book at the American people. The American people are seen as total trash, as total scum, as total garbage. I mean, they're passing laws where just everything that was normal and wasn't illegal is illegal. That's what tyranny is. A tyranny makes everything illegal so it can then selectively enforce on who it wants. And I see articles like this, stacks of them every day. Children 4 to be fingerprinted to borrow school books from library. Children to be thumbprinted to get school lunches. School drills where they come in and terrorize the kids and train them to be taken to FEMA camps. IBM wants traffic lights to stop your car. Law enforcement organizations are lobbying for kill switches, where everyone's cars are just remote controlled killed. Meanwhile, Gulf oil spill, scientists find second oil plume. That was the Wall Street Journal and LA Times yesterday. Here's another one, this time from AP. The giant underwater oil plume discovered. A third one. There's the AP section right there in the article. It's up on Infowars.com. So now they found a third plume. And government can't help you in Katrina. All it can come and do is take your guns. Government can't help you in a hurricane or in an earthquake or in any. All they can do is take your money. All they can do is rob you. And they can't fix an oil leak. They can't fix anything. You understand that? All they can do, because it's designed to rob you. It's designed to steal from you. Public education is designed to make you a conformist idiot and to dumb you down. It's designed to break up your family and turn your children against you, and you pay for it. That's what America is. Oh, you don't know they're having drills in every county and every city where they come in and announce, we're homeschoolers for the Second Amendment, we're going to kill you. And literally, that's the Associated Press. And put it to the kids' heads in trauma-based mind control. So they then their whole life hate guns and are scared to death of them. That's why the Violence Policy Center a few years ago was in the Austin American-Statesman debating me. They interviewed them, they interviewed me. And they said, don't worry, we're going to get your guns. We've got your kids in the schools. That was a quote. We've got your kids. Because you don't care about your kids, America. You don't care about your tax money. You don't care about offshore banks. Because you know why? The big conservative talk show host for the last 20 years told you there's no CFR. There's no global governance. There's no world government. There's no new world order. There's no private corporate takeover. None of that exists. And so you just believe none of that exists. And so that's great. You know, I've talked about Israel's nuclear arsenal and how their Knesset 4 years ago threatened to nuke Europe if they didn't give them money. Now, I'm not even against Israel, but I am against a member of their Knesset saying that. That's their government. And then I had callers call in and say, how dare you even say Israel has nukes? Yes, they have them, but you're not allowed to say they have them. What? You know, that's the mind control in our culture. By the way, there are more newscasts now this week I've seen, CNN and others saying, yes, the troops grow the opium and ship it out because if they don't, the Taliban will get the money and then we'll fund the terrorists. That's what they said in Vietnam. Oh, we better ship the heroin out or the commies will get it. We went there because the French lost control of the opium in Indochina in '58. Our troops were there for 7 years before you were told about it in Vietnam. We went to Afghanistan to get the schmack so you could, so idiots in Russia and the U.S. and other places could run a dirty needle up their vein and pump some poison in. I could play Geraldo Rivera right now on the TV telling you that growing smack is good. And if you aren't for heroin cultivation, you don't love the troops. In fact, let's just play it right now. Here it is. In your face.
To opium in many, many ways. That is the principal crop that is being grown here. The Taliban lend the farmers the money. They are indebted to the Taliban. They have to grow the opium. Now the Marines, in their success, are in a sense a victim of their success.
Oh, yeah.
Because now the population is, you know, they have these opium fields, and we are tolerating it.
Oh,
we are tolerating the cultivation of the opium because we know that if we were to destroy it now, the population would turn against the Marines, and it would be a real security risk. Let me introduce Lieutenant Colonel Brian Christmas. He's the commanding officer of the 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. Really a wonderful group of Marines here. I know that you care deeply about this this contradiction, the fact that here you have
See, I'm not the patriot.
Forces in the world.
I'm not for running heroin up your vein.
And in a sense, you're watching as this opium is being grown. I know it grinds at your gut. How do you deal with it? What are you doing about it?
Well, frankly, this is a part of their culture. So
that's enough. You can go watch the whole clip on InfoWars and Prison Planet. And he goes on to say they help them grow it. You can go pull these numbers up. There is over a 12-fold increase to all-time records of opium. Just 8 years ago, less than 20% of world opium was coming out of Afghanistan that they turned into heroin. Guess what's coming out? 91% last time I saw a month ago. The troops aren't tolerating it. I've talked to the troops for years. They are there guarding the schmack, and it's loaded on C-130s, and it's flown in to Chicago, baby. And they love it. They ship it off, and when your kids are dumb enough to use it, they slam them in a prison owned by the military-industrial complex. It's coming out. The private prisons, most of them, are paid for with laundered cocaine and heroin money. You idiot drug users out there, all you're doing is letting them legalize slavery. They didn't get rid of slavery in the 1860s. They just made drugs illegal, and if you're dumb enough to use them, that's their excuse to throw you in a slave prison making widgets. You know why I'm mad? I've been talking about this all last week, and I just can't shut up. On Monday, the Washington Post came out. We read the article on air. The headline was, CIA made film that Saddam was gay. But buried in the article, the CIA says, oh, by the way, we made fake bin Laden videos. Well, I already knew that. But the fact is, they think you're so dumb. Yeah, we grow the smack. You better salute the smack, or you're not a patriot. Yeah, we make fake Al-Qaeda videos. You better salute the fake videos, or you don't like the troops. Yeah, you better be for nuking countries, or you're not a patriot. You better give all your money to Goldman Sachs, or you're not a patriot. You better let us brainwash your kids. You better turn your guns in, or you're not American. On this Memorial Day, remember, hating George Washington, hating the Second Amendment, hating our borders is patriotism. Well, if that's patriotism, I'm not a patriot. You hear me?